Welcome to the award-winning Saints Happy Hour podcast. Seriously, this podcast has won awards. American standards are dropping every day. The show features Ralph, the best host in the world, who can barely pronounce his own name, much less anyone else's.
Marcus Callaway.
Dave is that dude who loves taking bathroom breaks. He's mad about almost anything, so make sure to lower your volume when he speaks.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Andrew has sources, watches tapes, and knows football. He rarely shows up on time and wants to commit crimes to help the Saints win.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Oh, and there's also Kevin, who is great at doing mock drafts, but struggles to actually watch Saints games or have a functioning relationship.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Anyway, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the insanity.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. Guys, subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Hit that like button on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It really helps us grow the podcast. So do us a favor. Help us out. I got Kevin with me today.
Hello.
Kevin, the Saints are playing the Carolina Panthers on Monday night. It's
+3 or -3.
-3. It's the annual doubleheader on ESPN Monday Night Football. The Saints game starts at 6 o'clock Central, and then the West Coast doubleheader I think starts at like 9 or 9:15.
What's the old West Coast game?
That's a good question. I didn't look.
I will look.
Yeah. So while you're pulling that up, this game for the Saints is really interesting because Carolina has really stomped out the Saints' good vibes from the beginning of the season. The last 2 years. Last year, they beat Atlanta in the miracle comeback. Then they play Tampa at home. Jameis gets hurt. They look kind of bad. They go to Carolina. They lose to Baker Mayfield, who threw for like 50 yards. And all the good vibes of week one were gone. In 2021, they stomped Green Bay. They go to Carolina, right? Everybody has COVID. Players, coaches. They didn't have an offensive coaching staff. They get stomped into the ground. All the good vibes of week one are gone. So they're playing Carolina again, Kevin, week two. This is a critical game. Like, can they beat a Carolina team who, if you didn't watch the Falcons-Panthers game, you probably are like, all the experts are like, Carolina, they're the worst team. They stink. They were winning that game 10-7 in the middle of the third quarter. They ran for 150 yards. Bryce Young just threw up all over himself with interceptions, and Carolina had a fumble. Like, the game was closer than I think people think that didn't watch the game. I watched the little condensed version on YouTube.
Yeah.
But how critical, just in a broad sense, Kevin, how critical is this game Sunday for the Saints?
How critical is this one?
Yeah. How critical is week two?
And of course it's critical. It's conference opponent, division opponent. I mean, you're going against a rookie quarterback who doesn't have a fully healthy offensive line.
My
Stop
UDFA
if you've
son
heard that
will be
before.
By the way, that's a great point. Carolina down both guards. My UDFA son, Throckmorton, former Saint, he will be starting for the Panthers on Monday night.
I mean,
That's
the Saints defense. This is their time to shine. This is their time to shine. Like, they looked great in week one. They have got to do the exact same thing in this situation. I get that it's on the road, but again, rookie quarterback, offensive line missing people. This is it. I mean, do you stop the run, dare Bryce Young to beat you in the air? Your secondary, Mike, the guy I picked to be the season MVP for the Saints,
right.
Lattimore. Lattimore should have at least a pick, probably two.
Here's my question: is Carolina's receiving core, is it worse than Tennessee's? because Tennessee at least had Hopkins, right? Carolina, they got fossilized Adam Thielen. They got Terrence Marshall, former LSU guy, who's kind of been a bust/disappointment. DJ Chalk, he's hurt. Like they got that tight end who I can never remember his name. Hayden Hurst. They got him. Like this receiving core, Kevin, is pretty freaking terrible for Carolina when you look.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's like, dude, Jonathan Mingo. Like what?
Yeah, and Mingo, he's interesting, but he's a rookie.
Like I'm not seeing the vision here.
If you put Shaheed on the Panthers, would he be their number one receiver?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you know. So
I'm looking at like this is a not ready for prime time players collection here. Like look, I only did the one fantasy draft for Saints Happy Hour, the auction draft, but at no point did any Panthers receiver come
cross
up.
your mind.
At no point. And we have 14 players in that league.
We have a 14. 14. So
At no point did any Panthers players come up. There were Falcons players that came up.
Yeah.
There were Bucks players that came up. At no point did a Panthers player come up.
No point.
And again, it's anecdotal evidence. I get it. Not hardcore scientific fact or whatever, but yeah, this O-line, or not O-line, this receiving core, worse than Tennessee. Rookie quarterback, missing two guards. Like, come on. This defense has to feast.
Yeah.
Defense has to feast.
You know, Miles Sanders had the Carolina, they did run the ball. They had 150 yards rushing against Atlanta. You know, Miles Sanders, 18 carries, 72 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 9 carries for 60. They were running the ball pretty good. It was weird in that they're like winning 10-7 and they had halfway decent field position. They come out and they throw like 3 incompletions. I'm like, Carolina, like, what are you doing? You're running the ball down Atlanta's throat and you're winning 10-7 and you go pass, punt. So that was weird. The other thing about this game, Kevin.
The old Coach Conlon. Well, no, actually, that's run, punt. Sorry, Never mind. Disregard. I was making a joke about Brother Martin from way back in the day.
1990s Brother Martin joke. 4 people got it. Here's another interesting thing about this game. When you ask Saints fans, in general, if you said to Saints fans, if you said to them, and I'll use you an example. I'll ask you a question. If I said to Kevin, since 2006, what's the Saints' winning percentage versus rookie quarterbacks, do you think?
Got to be over 70.
You are a rational thinking person. It's 68%. They're 49 and 19.
So close. So close.
So they're 49 and 19 since 2006. Which is really good. Like if you win 68 to 70% of your games, like you're doing really good, right? But there's a perception among Saints fans that rookie quarterbacks kill them. But really, Kevin, isn't it just certain rookie quarterback experiences have been like branded on us and we just remember them forever? Like RG3 in 2012, Max Hall way back in the day. Jalen Hurts, his first start before he was like
is Max Holloway even in the league anymore?
Max Hall? I don't think he is.
Wait, I thought you said Holloway. Yeah, Max Hall is
the
Max
MMA
Hall
fighter.
even...
Yeah, Max Holloway.
Sorry, Max Hall. He played a total of 6 games for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Good Lord, this guy's got the ears of an elf. And the Saints got beat by this guy.
They did. But like
terrible.
But like Arizona had a defensive touchdown. They blocked the punt, ran it back for a touchdown. So
yeah.
I mean, so it was weird, but that aside, like fans don't care. But there's this perception that like Saints struggle against rookie quarterbacks when they really kind of don't. You know?
Yeah.
So other things about this game that are really interesting. We talked about the Carolina offense, which the Saints should, like you said, dominate, control. But
no, the defense, the offense I'm worried. The offense I'm worried about because listen, Saints O-line. I listen to the Big Pod. I've listened to other people break things down.
It's bad.
Saints O-line needs help. Trevor Penning didn't look good. I don't know because I didn't get to see the game. Thank you very much, NFL Sunday Ticket. But Trevor Penning didn't look good. So you got the Panthers coming. You got the not coming in, but you got the Saints going in against the Panthers who were running a 3-4. I'm looking at the players like, man, where are these defensive stops coming from? Where are these not stops? Where are the sacks coming from?
Yeah.
The three guys they got up front have like career total like 5 or fewer sacks, I think.
Yeah.
Shy Tuttle being one of them. Saints Happy Hour Hall of Famer Shy Tuttle. The killers are the linebackers. All the linebackers have double-digit sacks in their career. The real ass kicker is Brian Burns.
That's right.
He's got 40 career sacks in his career. He already has 2 from last week against the Falcons.
He did the new thing that the players, the kids are doing in the NFL. He did the hold in during the summer where the week of the game, he was in the building, but he wasn't fully practicing. So because if you get fined now, the team, they can't rescind the fines. You have to pay him. So he wants a new deal, and Carolina's having a hard time coming to agreement. The interesting thing with him, Kevin, is 2 years ago, I think it was, or maybe it was last year, I think, the Rams offered Carolina 2 firsts for Burns, and they were like, no, we're not taking it. So it's you didn't take the 2 firsts for him from the Rams, which, by the way, would probably be an amazing pick the next couple of years because the Rams, I know they won Sunday, but they're probably not going to be very good. So it's you didn't take a giant bundle of picks for him. You got to get him signed. So he's interesting, but right. he was all over the place and he was dominating. And here's the thing with the Saints is teams are going to go at Penning until it's solved. So either Penning's got to get better. The Saints have to protect him with a running back chip or a tight end chip, or they have to reconfigure the line and put Hurst over there, because teams are just going to keep going at him until it's solved. And Kevin, it was as bad as can be in the first half. The Saints, they had 6 points in the first half. I know Carr had the turnover, but 4 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. That's a recipe for getting your quarterback injured. That kind of performance, that's got to it can't, I would say Penning is one more performance. He's one more half like that from the Saints have to do emergency operations, bench him, whatever. You can't stack.
I wouldn't say half. I would say game.
Well, that's fair.
He's one whole game from a terrible, but what do? You move James Hurst in there instead?
Yeah.
Well,
it's tough.
You move James Hurst over there, but then that means it's Andres Pete.
That's right. It's a conundrum for Saints fans. Andres Pete.
It's a Gordian knot, for Christ's sake.
It is. You think it's bad for Chase coaches? What about us fans? They don't think about us. Get Penning out of there. All right, you want Penning out of there. You want Hurst back. You gotta watch Pete. It's the we need the Gordian knot's a good one, but we need an NFL term self-loathing. I don't know. Like it's a bad call, but this game, Kevin, to me it's really interesting because the national media basically they either ignored the Saints or they just poo-pooed all over them. And they were like, they won, but Tannehill was terrible. I did like Robert Mays and Nate Tice said the Saints-Titans game, it felt like it should have been played in the rain, which I thought was a great description of it. So the national media, of course, they want to take a dump on the Saints. They want to say, all your salary cap shenanigans, it's going to come due. You're going to be 8-9. You're going to be 9-8. Derek Carr, you gave him all this money just to be average. They want to dunk on the Saints. What? Because I like to be positive when the Saints are undefeated and we're feeling good. What would have to happen Monday night for the Saints to be the lead on First Take for ESPN Tuesday morning? What has to happen?
The lead? Let's see.
The lead.
I mean,
and not in a positive way. I don't want you saying Derek Carr. No, I want positive Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. They have to talk about the Saints at the lead, and they have to talk good about them. What would have to happen Monday night?
Well, I looked up the other Monday night game. It's the Browns at the Steelers.
Ooh.
Which starts just 1 hour later.
That's weird.
Like I thought it was going to be West Coast teams.
No, me too. That's weird.
So the fact that it's the Steelers, like that's a darling franchise for, national media. Yeah. So the Saints would really have to come out and beat the piss out of the Panthers. And it can't just be, they sacked Bryce Young 5 times. Bryce Young had 2 turnovers. I mean, it has to be defensively. It would have to be comical.
Yeah,
comical. Like the Panthers would have to turn the ball over like 5 times, 6 times. Bryce Young would have to be, 7 of 19 for like 94 yards. Offensively, Derek Carr would have to have a great game, obviously. Close to 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. It would have to look like the Drew Brees offense.
It would have to, I think.
From the heyday.
I think.
Because I'm thinking them playing on Monday is the benefit. That's the benefit. Because no matter what happened on Sunday, there's no way they would be the lead on Monday morning if they played on Sunday, positively. But Monday, now you got a chance, even though you're going up against the Browns and the Steelers, because that'll just be, hopefully an ugly game, and both teams will just look terrible.
Here's the thing, though. The problem for the Saints is they have to do something. Somebody for the Saints, they have to blow out the Panthers, and somebody for the Saints has to, an individual player, probably on offense, has to be extraordinary. Because the thing is, the Steelers are a national team. So Steelers 0-2 that's hard to knock out of the lead for First Take. Or the Browns 2-0 with the sexual deviant Deshaun Watson. So that's hard to knock off. I would say the Saints.
So that means you need the Steelers to win an ugly game, like 12-7 or 14-10 or some shit like that. And then you need the Saints to basically
curb stomp Carolina.
What? And 34-10, something like that.
Maybe Carolina doesn't score a touchdown. And I think not only do you need that, Kevin, I think you need Carr being amazing, Olave being amazing, or Michael Thomas being amazing. Like you need
Thomas. I think Michael Thomas more than Olave.
Yeah, but I think you're probably right. Like because if Olave would go like 8 for 180 and 2, like
180.
All the like
180, yeah, they're going to talk about him first. 180.
180. I'm talking like
eight catches.
8 catches, 182.
That's 25 yards per catch, man.
You think that would lead first take?
180? Yeah.
I don't know,
180.
man.
Come on, man. That's like saying, man, boy, if Derek Carr throws 24 passes for 510 yards, boy, I hope he would be the lead. Yes,
well, I don't know though. But if the Browns
yards,
you got Deshaun Watson, you got Deshaun Watson, you got the Steelers. I'm just saying it takes something extraordinary.
Actually, that would have been that would have kept him out of trouble. Is doing that. 108, yeah. But look, Olave, if he goes 8 and 120 and a touchdown, that's not enough to lead. Like that's great. Right. And it's great for his development, but Olave is not he doesn't have that cachet built up where if he does something good, it generates like national attention. It's like, okay, he's a second-year player who's coming along and playing well, and he looks like he's the number one guy of the future and all that. Michael Thomas doing 8 catches, 120, and a touchdown. That's a subject of discussion. That's, is this guy has he righted the ship? Is he fully healed from his injury? Can Michael Thomas build on this and get back to something resembling the Michael Thomas of old? That's a segment on TV.
And Olave, yeah.
That's a radio segment. That's that's 870. That's ESPN local, and that's ESPN national.
And also
that's
Michael Thomas.
That is.
And Michael Thomas gives great. He would be a great post game interview, right? So he might give him some sound that is, controversial, fun that can bump the Steelers or Browns off first take. I'm going to give you.
He'll give the Twitter joke, the enemy speaks softly and carries a knife type thing, and that'll be amusing if he does the 8, 120, and 1.
Yeah. Here's
180 yards. Come on.
I'm just saying. I mean, it could happen. It could like J.C. Horn's not playing for Carolina. You can't guard Michael Thomas. You don't have somebody to guard both of them. I'm just saying. No J.C. Horn's going to be out with a hamstring. All right. So before we get to if we're going to change our picks, I got a prediction for you. The Saints are facing a Carolina offensive line. It's not good, and they're missing both guards. I think, and I don't think he's going to necessarily move the needle enough to be like the lead on first take and all that. But Brian Bresee is going to say hello to America, and all your favorite hipster NFL podcasts, the Mina Kinds, the Robert Mays, those types, I'm drawing a blank on some other ones, but those kind of podcasts, they are going to be going gaga over Brian Bresee, and they are going to say he is amazing. This is not fair that Dennis Allen now has an elite defensive tackle and Lattimore on their defense. Oh my God, we're going to be horribly wrong about the Saints. They're going to get away with their salary cap shenanigans again. So that's my fun sort of hipster prediction. Brian Bresee is going to look amazing because he's going to be good, but Carolina down both guards, like that's a recipe. That's a recipe for disaster for Carolina. If the Saints can get ahead, Kevin, it's a recipe for disaster. I think Brian Bresee, amazing game.
I love how we've lumped Mina Kimes into the hipster collective.
It's like Mina Kimes.
But look, I mean, she's young and beloved. So
yeah, she would. I suppose the hipster thing. She wouldn't. I don't think she would question. She's a friend of the program. She's been. I don't think she'd question that she's in the hipster NFL pod stat people grouping at the lunch.
Right. It's just funny to hear. Like I'm picked, Mina Kimes is going to go down to the record store, and sip, go to the coffee store, go to the coffee bar, order something, some $12 latte or whatever that comes in like a very tiny mug, and then peruse old jazz records from the 1960s.
Yeah.
Be like, do you have this 25th anniversary pressing of Cannonball Adderley's greatest hits?
Dave, I want Take Five from Dave Brubeck. I need original vinyl while I break down defensive line.
Yeah, but it's just funny picturing her doing that.
It is. So,
yeah. So where are we going from here? Where are we going? I derailed us with Mina Kimes being have a stocking cap.
I have a fun prediction of Brian Brissy being great. Do you have a fun prediction for Monday night?
I'm predicting him to win. I give a shit. A fun prediction. Well, I mean, I predicted I picked Michael Thomas to be my
that's right, player of the week,
my fantasy player. So let me see if I can get something else here. No, not that one. Not that one. I tell you what, I'll go with this. Jamal Williams didn't have a good week one. I'll say I'll pick Jamal Williams having a good week one or a good week two and showing up at the presser in a full-on Pikachu zip-up onesie. I want a full Pikachu zip-up onesie. Just don't even address it. Don't even address it. People ask about it, just ignore it. Just say, oh yeah, this is just something I wear.
That's
Next question. Okay, with the hood up, serious questions, serious answers, just he's wearing the Pikachu onesie because he had, 14 carries for like 90 plus yards and and like 2 touchdowns or something.
That's a great one.
Give me that. That's what I'll
I like that. We need that. We need that in our lives to just pour rocket fuel on the Saints vibes for 2023. All right, final thing, then we get out of here. We always do this. Do you want to change your pick for the Monday night game? And I do. This is the first one. I'm going to anger Juge because he's going to find this song later and he's going to make him mad. I want to change my pick. I picked the Saints 23-17 on Tuesday night, but J.C. Horn is out. Both guards are out. I just feel like this sets up for the Saints to really give Carolina the business. I want to change it. 31-6 Saints curb stomping. I want to change it. I'm sorry if I put the bad juju on them, but that's what I want. I want to change my pick.
So will this now be the thing that you're graded against on Tuesday night?
No, that's the beauty of changing the pick. I just change it. And if I'm right, I remind people, but if I'm wrong, it's like
I'm going to deduct points for changing the pick, Ralph. You can do it if you want.
I can do it. I got a point. Thomas is here.
Take a point.
All right. Thomas will note it and roast me on Tuesday's show.
He's checking the timestamp.
Are you?
I am not changing my pick. I think I went 27-14. My initial thought was that the game would be pretty close until late, and the Saints would get, like a pick six or a scoop and a score type thing to put the game away and be the dagger. Now I'm just thinking maybe the 27-14 is the Saints take the lead early, never really look back, and the Panthers are chasing, and they just can't do enough to catch up. That's all.
I
27-14.
I so badly want to blow out so I can hunt nerds on Twitter and all the people that said the Saints are spending $200 million for Operation 9 and 8. I have them bookmarked. I want to hunt them individually starting in the third quarter when the Saints are just cursed.
No, you are not allowed. You are not allowed to go hunting after Twitter losers in the third quarter.
Why?
You specifically are not allowed to do that.
Why? Thomas, can I get a ruling on that?
I don't know, man.
Snake bit is what we're going to call that if that happens. You wait You wait till the Saints are up by more than 14 with 5 minutes to go. And then maybe you want to start to feel yourself. You individually start to feel yourself.
Dad, I just want to have a good time, man. Whatever.
There'll be plenty of time to rattle cages. There'll be plenty of time to poke the bear.
If the Saints are up 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, I'm coming after people. I got a list.
Fine, 3 touchdowns. There, we've established.
They're up
21 points. The Saints have to be up 21 in the third quarter for you to go after people on Twitter.
I'm coming after people. I got permission from you. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for finding us on YouTube. Go to Saints Happy Hour. Become a patron. But more than that, just wherever you find your podcast, on your phone or in your player when you're at work. Wherever you whatever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever. Search Saints Happy Hour Podcast. Subscribe to us. Start listening to us. I guarantee you'll love us. So for Kevin, for Thomas, running the show back in Poland, exquisite as always, doing a great job. I'm Ralph Malbrough. Until next time, the bar is closed.